Right, good afternoon. This is another video brought to you by Aquaspiumante, and this one is on a Soda King siphon that we acquired recently. And this one is considered to be a design classic and was designed by an architect stroke product designer in the late 1930s, around about 1935 to 37, a chap called Norman Bel Geddes, and he apparently did a lot of design work. Now, as you can see, it's quite an unusual shape, and I believe that this is actually in a couple of American museums because it's considered to be such a design classic. Now this one comes in a number of different colour combinations. This is possibly one of the more common ones. This is with a red painted top, and I believe that they also came with a chrome plated coloured top. Where the red paint is, it would have been chromed, and possibly some other colours. I'm not totally familiar with off the top of my head. Now what we've done is we've taken this apart. So it consists of a large die cast metal head, which I'll just put down for a moment, hollow body with a sealing face on the top there. This is made out of spun brass, I believe. And it has the designer's name on the bottom there, Norman Bel Geddes, and Soda King, made in USA, Walter Kidde Sales Co. Incorporated, Bloomfield, New Jersey. That's chromed brass. Now the head, that is internally painted die cast zinc alloy with a chromed brass brand, I believe, glued onto the top. And this one has had all its guts taken out, and I'll be showing those in a second. So originally that would have had two buttons on it, one within the other, like that, but set into the top. And what makes this Soda Syphon quite unusual is that, unlike other ones where you had a key to hold the Soda Syphon, hold the carbon dioxide capsule, and there's an original carbon dioxide capsule. Most of the Soda Syphons of that era had some sort of holder and some sort of fitting, like most of the soda sparklets ones, and a lot of the Soda King ones as well, had some sort of key or to hold that, and then that will be punctured on the outside. In this one, it's quite unusual in that instead of having a key to hold it, there was a recess into which you put the carbon dioxide capsule, and then there was an unusual little feature, almost like a funnel, which screwed down over the capsule inside the body, and in the bottom of there is a little spring, which you may be able to just about see there, little spring, and that holds the capsule away from a piercing pin, which has a bypass hole through the bottom. So that would do the piercing. Now, the recess for the capsule is long enough so that when you screw this down over the capsule tightly, the capsule is not actually pierced until the lid can be put. Now you can hear it rattling in there. So that gives you an idea of how much space. There's a little bit of space in there. And how they actually allowed you to put the lid on and pierce the capsule was that there was a button on the top which had a bar which goes through from the outside of the body through to the inside of the body, and on the inside was a little rubber seal which sat in the bottom of that recess, right in the bottom of there, and stopped the carbon dioxide escaping up the shaft of this button. Now this one, which I don't know whether you can see, it's roughly sort of cup shaped, has a sidewall and a flat base, and I think it was originally made of quite a pliant rubber, but this one is very, very brittle, so I don't do much with it. Certainly we can't use it again. Now we're going to try and source some of these if we can, or have them remanufactured if we can't, to get this going again. So that allowed you to pierce the capsule, and then on the other side there was another button which again had a shaft seal on it. Well, I'll go through a bit of the button. There's the button itself, then a tensioning spring, and then a large brass washer. And this is basically part of the soda control valve. And this goes through, again, another, well, basically flanged cup shaped seal, which prevents the soda water from escaping when you press the button down. And this goes through there. I won't push it on because it's quite delicate. And this would have sealed the top of the button, preventing the soda water from escaping. And it would have released, by pressing it down, you release the soda water out of this hole. Quite an elegant design, but rather complicated. On the end of this shaft, there is then a little valve rubber seat there, which fits onto a valve seat inside, and that screws onto the end of the shaft like that. And so when you press the button down, that moves away from the valve seat, which is located up in there. I don't know whether you can see it, right in the bottom of that hole there, and that allows the soda water to come through. Now on the head there was a overpressure safety feature, which is that, which consisted of a little painted brass cap which screws in there, and that compresses against, with a rubber washer, against a little Bakelite diaphragm. And I was very fortunate I could get that one out without breaking it. Very delicate now, but those can be replaced with a similar diaphragm type material, and essentially the new material will be invisible to the user. Now you may be interested in how they got the soda water from the bottom of the soda siphon up to the valve and the nozzle. So inside the body they had what looks to be a painted aluminium, possibly brass tube with a rubber bung on the top, and that basically goes into that hole like that, and then it goes inside. So we've already started producing a new one of those. This is the first try. Got a silicone rubber bung and a piece of plastic tube, and that fits in basically the same place as the other one and does the same job. And that's assuming that we can't actually fabricate one of these again. This is just a first try. Now you may ask, how did they seal between the face of the body and the inside of the head? Now, there was a rather complicated rubber seal in there. Quite an interesting design. Unusual in that it fits into the head and it has like a lip, internal lip. Unusually it has an internal lip in here which actually seals against there. So it fits into a groove within the head. It's a bit difficult to get in on camera, but basically it fits into a groove in the head, like so. Here we are. And the lip that's in there seals against the body of the Soda Syphon when you screw it down. And it doesn't, fortunately, the design of the seal means that it doesn't need too much pressure, but that seal is knackered, so it's probable that if we produce a replacement, we'll have to do it to a slightly different design, and it may need a bit more force to actually screw it into position. So we'll see if we can get them. Now, what our intention is to produce seals, or have made seals, to replace all of these parts that are used in the Soda Syphon and get this working once again. So that will be the subject to another video. So that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll see our new video in a few weeks' time once we've had some seals manufactured, remanufactured, and tried it out for our first time. Anyway, thank you very much. This video has been brought to you by Aquasparity, and thanks very much for watching. See you soon.